Some killers hide in the shadows, some walk among us, smiling. But few leave a trail of terror so cold, so brutal, it haunts the world even decades later. This is the disturbing story of the Ice Pick Killer. In the bustling streets of New York during the 1940s and 50s, fear was an invisible cloud that hung over the city. People vanished. Bodies were found with a horrifying signature, a single precise wound made with an ice pick. The police had no clues, no leads, just the chilling realization that a monster was stalking their streets. The monster's name? Richard Kuklinski, later infamously known as the Iceman, a professional hitman with ties to the mafia and a personal thirst for cruelty. Cold, calculated, remorseless. Kuklinski perfected the art of making death look accidental, but the ice pick was his personal favorite, a simple tool that pierced the brain instantly, leaving hardly a trace. He would approach his victims casually, a smile, a handshake. Then, before they could react, a swift jab at the base of the skull. Instant death. No scream, no fight. Just the cold silence of a life snuffed out in an instant. Some were enemies, some were contracts, some were just people who looked at him the wrong way. But the Ice Pick Killer wasn't just a hitman. He was a predator. Richard Kuklinski's home life was a perfect mask, loving father, doting husband. Yet beneath that facade was a man who claimed to have murdered over 100 people. He said he felt nothing, no guilt, no fear, just emptiness. One of Richard Kuklinski's earliest ice pick murders wasn't for money, it was for curiosity. He targeted a homeless man, someone who wouldn't be missed. Smiling, Kuklinski offered him a sandwich. As the man took a bite, a swift jab at the base of his skull with an ice pick ended his life instantly. The man collapsed mid-bite, silent, unmoving. Kuklinski didn't flee. He stood over the body, watching, fascinated by how easily a life could be ended. Years later, Kuklinski took on a contract hit against a rival mob enforcer. But it wasn't enough just to kill him. It had to send a message. Waiting in the stairwell of a crumbling apartment building, Kuklinski struck when the enforcer passed by. One brutal thrust to the skull with the ice pick. Then he positioned the corpse upright against the wall, placed a cigarette between its lips, and scrawled a chilling word across the chest in blood. Done. The message was clear. No one was untouchable. It wasn't a rival gangster or a street shootout that brought Kuklinski down. It was betrayal. A supposed friend, turned undercover agent, lured him into bragging about his crimes. In 1986, after decades of horror, Richard Kuklinski was finally arrested. During interviews, Kuklinski spoke about his murders with a chilling calmness. When asked if he regretted anything, he simply shrugged. He said, "It was just business." And when the cameras turned off, he smiled. If you think monsters don't exist, think again. They don't always hide in the dark. Sometimes they walk right beside you, like chilling tales of real-life horror. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because the shadows hold many more secrets we'll uncover.